Did you know that nearly 70% of seniors accidentally overpack their luggage and end up carrying more weight than a professional athlete during a marathon? It's true. Your vacation could start with sore shoulders, aching backs, and frustration before you even step foot on the plane. And yes, while that designer suitcase looks elegant, it's silently plotting against your comfort. But here's the good news. There's a simple trick to lighten your load without leaving anything essential behind. And I'll show you exactly how to pack smart so your trips feel effortless, not exhausting. Or consider this. 1 in 3 seniors unknowingly chooses the worst seat on a long flight, the kind that leaves you cramped, stiff, and reaching for every pain reliever in your bag. Many travelers don't realize that a few strategic clicks online, yes, just a few minutes, can secure a seat that supports your knees, back, and even your peace of mind. Imagine walking off the plane feeling refreshed instead of defeated. Sounds almost too good to be true, right? But it's possible, and I'll explain how in a moment. And here's a shocking one. Hidden hotel fees drain more money from seniors than any souvenir or fancy dinner ever could. From resort charges to tiny cleaning fees, these sneaky costs can silently turn a dream trip into a stressful budget nightmare. The solution? I'll share the insider tips hotels don't want you to know so you can enjoy your stay without ever feeling nickeled and dimed. Before we go further, a quick word. If this is already striking a chord with you, don't just hit that new hype button. Every hype helps seniors' voices rise, helping more adventurers over 60 discover smarter, easier travel. Trust me, each hype pushes this message to other travelers who deserve stress-free adventures. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the top travel secrets that make life after 60 not just comfortable, but extraordinarily enjoyable. From avoiding hidden traps to choosing the right gear, every tip is designed to help you travel smarter, laugh more, and stress less. Stick around, because the next tip alone can save hours of frustration on your very next trip, and you won't want to miss it. Meet Mabel Fairchild, 67. A retired nurse from Ohio with a zest for life and a suitcase full of dreams. Now, don't let her gentle smile fool you. Mabel is the kind of traveler who once believed she could outsmart every airport, hotel, and cruise ship policy without so much as a planning spreadsheet. She's spirited, adventurous, and stubbornly independent, but her first big solo adventure almost became a cautionary tale. Picture this. Mabel had been planning a Mediterranean cruise for months, meticulously picking excursions, researching local cuisine, and dreaming of the turquoise waters. But in her excitement, she made a few classic senior traveler mistakes. Overpacking enough shoes to fill a boutique store, lugging an oversized suitcase that weighed more than her carry-on, and forgetting to double-check her mobility accommodations. By the time she arrived at the port, she realized her lightweight folding cane was actually too short to walk the long gangway comfortably, and her suitcase had mysteriously ballooned to nearly double the airline's weight limit. The result? A frantic call to the cruise line, a stressful airport sprint, and an almost missed boarding time. Here's a truth many seniors don't hear often. Overconfidence can sabotage the most exciting trips. Mabel thought her years of life experience made her immune to rookie mistakes, but even the savviest travelers can get tripped up by hidden travel traps. The good news: Mabel didn't just survive this mishap. She turned it into a masterclass of senior travel wisdom. She learned how to pack light without sacrificing essentials, how to navigate cruise and airport logistics with minimal stress, and how to anticipate mobility challenges before they turn into obstacles. Mabel's story isn't just cautionary, it's inspiring. She embodies the idea that travel after 60 doesn't have to be nerve-wracking, awkward, or exhausting. With a few strategic adjustments, seniors can turn potential disasters into stories of triumph, laughter, and unforgettable memories. And here's the kicker. The lessons she learned on that famous Mediterranean cruise are exactly the tips we're going to reveal today. By the end of this video, you'll know how to travel like Mabel, prepared, confident, and able to enjoy every adventure without the unnecessary stress that trips often bring. So, whether you're dreaming of sun-soaked European ports or scenic American road trips, stick around, because Mabel's journey proves that with the right mindset and smart preparation, your travel experiences can be smooth, joyful, and surprisingly effortless, even after 60. Tip 1. Travel insurance secrets seniors often miss. Most seniors assume that travel insurance is just a safety net for lost luggage or canceled flight. But here's a shocking truth. Up to 80% of travelers over 60 are leaving themselves vulnerable to hidden medical costs that can blow their entire trip budget. It's not about paranoia. It's about the sneaky gaps in coverage that travel agents rarely explain. Things like mobility aids, pre-existing conditions, or emergency medical evacuation can quietly turn a dream vacation into a financial nightmare. Take Mabel Fairchild, for example. She had her heart set on a Mediterranean cruise after knee surgery and assumed her insurance would cover everything. After all, she was careful, right? Wrong. The cruise line required special clearance for mobility assistance, and her existing policy didn't cover medical transport from the ship to the nearest hospital. Suddenly, a trip she thought was carefully planned became an expensive scramble, with last-minute upgrades and extra fees adding up faster than she could blink. The worst part, she nearly had to skip her shore excursions because of this oversight. Here's the reality many seniors don't realize. Travel insurance isn't one-size-fits-all. A basic plan might cover flight delays, but not the very thing that could leave you stranded in a foreign country if a medical emergency arises. The good news is that avoiding these pitfalls is easier than most think. Always check for coverage on mobility aids, such as walkers or wheelchairs, and confirm that pre-existing conditions won't void your policy. Many companies even offer short-term medical evacuation coverage, which can save thousands if something unexpected happens abroad. Mabel learned the hard way, but now she travels with a customized insurance checklist that covers every scenario, from minor medical needs to major emergencies, so she can enjoy every port, city, or scenic road trip without anxiety. Her advice: don't wait until you're halfway across the ocean to find out your coverage is incomplete. A few strategic phone calls, a careful read of the fine print, and the right policy can turn potential disaster into peace of mind. So, before you plan your next adventure, ask yourself, do I really know what's covered if something goes wrong? Because a small oversight could cost far more than you ever imagined. Have you ever found yourself paying extra for something you thought was included? Comment below and share your story. Your experience could help another senior traveler avoid the same mistake. Travel smart by customizing your insurance. Cover your mobility needs, confirm pre-existing conditions, and never leave medical evacuation to chance. Your future self and your vacation will thank you. Tip 2. The shoes that can make or break your trip. Here's a fact that might shock you. Nearly half of seniors pack the wrong shoes for their trips, thinking that any comfortable pair will do. The result: blisters, sore feet, and missed experiences that turn what should be an exciting adventure into a painful ordeal. And it's not just about comfort. Your choice of footwear can literally determine whether you can enjoy a walking tour, navigate cobblestone streets, or even make a connecting flight on time. Take Mabel Fairchild, for instance. On her first European trip after turning 67, she confidently packed a single pair of stylish sneakers, assuming they were versatile enough for airports, cruises, and city excursions. But the moment she shuffled through a busy airport terminal, her heels rubbing the wrong way, and the soles slipping on polished floors, she realized she'd underestimated the impact of her shoes. Within hours, her feet were throbbing, blisters forming, and by the time she reached her connecting train, she was limping instead of sightseeing. What should have been a leisurely stroll through the Amalfi Coast turned into a battle against pain and frustration. Not all walking shoes are created equal. Lightweight sneakers might feel comfortable in the airport, but they won't support long days of standing on historic stone streets. Slip-on shoes may be perfect for flights, but disastrous on uneven outdoor trails. Mabel's solution: she began categorizing shoes by activity. Supportive sneakers for walking tours, cushioned slip-ons for flights, waterproof shoes for excursions, and a stylish yet practical pair for dining out. This simple strategy transformed her trips from exhausting to effortless. And here's a surprising tip most seniors overlook. The right socks can be just as important as the shoes themselves. Moisture-wicking, cushioned socks prevent blisters, improve circulation, and keep your feet energized throughout the day. Combine that with activity-specific shoes, and you can turn even the longest walking tour into a joy, not a chore. Before we move to the next tip, a quick teaser. While shoes can make a trip enjoyable, the next mistake can silently sabotage even the smoothest itinerary. and most seniors don't even realize it until it's too late. Don't settle for generic comfort. Pack shoes based on activities, pair them with the right socks, and test them before your trip. Your feet and your sense of adventure will thank you, and you'll finally enjoy every step of your journey without compromise. Have you ever struggled with the wrong shoes on a trip? Share your story below. It might save another senior from limping through their next adventure. Tip 3. Packing like a pro. Avoid hidden mobility traps. Here's a little-known fact that might surprise you. More than 60% of seniors accidentally pack themselves into travel traps they don't even realize exist. It's not just about overpacking clothes or forgetting charges. It's about the sneaky ways luggage and mobility gear can secretly sabotage your comfort, your schedule, and even your safety. Imagine arriving at a foreign airport only to discover your suitcase is heavier than you expected. Your carefully planned rolling backpack won't fit in the overhead bin. All wise, your mobility scooter hasn't arrived at the hotel yet. Mabel Fairchild learned this lesson the hard way. On one trip, she tried to pack everything just in case. 3 pairs of shoes for every occasion, a heavy toiletry kit, and a bag filled with souvenirs she planned to bring home. By the time she reached her hotel, she was exhausted, struggling with a suitcase that felt like it weighed 50 pounds. And, adding insult to injury, her prearranged mobility scooter hadn't arrived. That simple oversight turned a moment that should have been relaxing into a stressful scramble just to get around. She nearly missed her first city tour, and she tells the story with a laugh now. But at the time, it was frustrating and completely preventable. Here's the thing many seniors don't realize. Packing isn't just about what you bring. It's about how accessible it is when you need it. Collapsible walking sticks, medications in easy-to-reach pouches, and rolling backpacks that glide smoothly instead of dragging are game changers. Layering items strategically, like keeping essential documents and meds on top, prevents the panic of digging through a mountain of clothes in a hotel room. And for mobility aids, always double-check that your hotel or transport service confirms delivery times. A quick confirmation call can prevent hours of waiting and unnecessary stress. Another hidden trap: overpacking small carry-ons. It might seem harmless, but a backpack overloaded with daily essentials can throw off your posture, strain your back, and make airport navigation far more taxing than it should be. Mabel learned to streamline her carry-on to only what she truly needed for the day, leaving heavier items securely in checked luggage. The result: less stress, more energy, and the freedom to enjoy every step of her adventure. Pack smart, not heavy. Use rolling backpacks, collapsible walking aids, and accessible pouches for medications and documents. Confirm mobility equipment delivery ahead of time, and always prioritize ease of movement over sheer volume. With these strategies, every trip becomes smoother, safer, and far more enjoyable. Have you ever faced a luggage or mobility mishap on your travels? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might help another senior avoid the same trap. Tip 4. Timing is everything. Flights, layovers, and jet lag. Here's a surprising truth. Most seniors don't miss flights because of canceled planes. They miss them because of poor timing choices. It sounds dramatic, but think about it. Booking a late-night flight might feel cheaper or more convenient, yet it often leads to exhaustion, confusion in crowded airports, and even missed connections. For seniors, the body clock matters more than the price tag, and ignoring this can quietly ruin an otherwise well-planned trip. Mabel Fairchild, our seasoned traveler, once made this very mistake. She booked an overnight flight to save a few $100s, thinking she'd simply sleep on the plane. But between restless passengers, constant announcements, and stiff seating, sleep never came. By the time she landed in Rome, she was groggy, jet-lagged, and had to push through her first day with no energy. Instead of strolling through historic streets and enjoying fresh Italian cuisine, she spent the day fighting off a splitting headache. That entire day of her dream vacation, gone. Here's what many seniors overlook. The body after 60 thrives on rhythm, not disruption. Choosing morning or early afternoon flights reduces fatigue, shortens waiting times at crowded terminals, and gives you a buffer if delays happen. And while younger travelers might gamble on tight layovers to save time, seniors often benefit from extended layovers. A 2 or 3 hour pause can mean time to stretch, hydrate, eat properly, and reset before the next leg of the journey. It's not wasted time. It's energy invested in enjoying the destination. And let's not forget jet lag, the silent thief of joy. Crossing time zones without preparation can leave you groggy for days. But here's the good news. Simple adjustments, like shifting your bedtime a few days before travel, staying hydrated, and planning gentle activities on arrival, can trick your body into adapting more smoothly. Mabel now swears by morning flights paired with a pre-planned rest day, which allows her to enjoy her trips from the very first evening. Don't let poor timing steal your adventure. Prioritize flights that match your natural rhythm. Give yourself generous layovers for rest, and plan ahead for jet lag. With these small but powerful choices, you'll arrive refreshed, ready, and energized to truly experience your destination. Which flight timing works best for you? Share your secrets below. Your wisdom might help another senior traveler avoid a day of exhaustion. Tip 5. Avoiding cruise and hotel scams. Here's a bold statement that might ruffle some feathers. Cruise lines and hotels don't just make money from bookings. They often make more from hidden extras you don't realize you're paying for. Shocking, right? But it's true. Seniors are especially vulnerable because the offers are packaged to look like comfort upgrades. Yet in reality, many of them are nothing more than cleverly disguised traps. From mandatory resort fees to inflated spa treatments, these charges can drain your budget faster than you can say all-inclusive. Take Mabel Fairchild's experience as a perfect example. On her first luxury cruise, she was dazzled by a glossy brochure advertising a spa wellness package for seniors, promising daily massages, priority appointments, and exclusive relaxation zones. It sounded irresistible until she casually mentioned it to another passenger at dinner. To her shock, the same services were available à la carte for nearly half the price. That senior discount was actually a cleverly marketed upsell. If she hadn't asked around, she would have paid hundreds more for something that wasn't even unique. Here's the reality. The most expensive part of a cruise or hotel stay is rarely the booking. It's the add-ons. Think premium shore excursions that charge 3 times more than local operators, minibar snacks that cost more than a restaurant meal, or internet packages so overpriced you'd think they were selling gold. And don't forget hotel resort fees. Many seniors are shocked when a $150 per night room quietly turns into $200 plus after mysterious facility charges. The solution? Adopt Mabel's rule. Trust your fellow travelers before the brochures. A quick conversation with other passengers or a quick online search can expose overpriced packages and point you to better deals. For hotels, always ask a check-in what's included in your rate. Many fees can actually be waived if you politely challenge them. And for excursions, check reputable local companies ahead of time. You'll often get a more authentic experience at a fraction of the cost. Don't fall for glossy upgrades or hidden fees. Verify with fellow passengers, research alternatives, and question what's truly mandatory. This way, you'll enjoy the luxury you deserve without watching your wallet drain away. Have you ever discovered a hidden charge on a trip that shocked you? Share it in the comments. You might just save another senior traveler from falling into the same trap. Tip 6. Health first. Staying safe and energized. Here's a shocking truth. Most seniors don't get sidelined on trips because of big emergencies. It's usually the small, preventable mistakes that quietly steal their energy. Skipping water on a long tour, forgetting a medication dose, or relying on fast food between sightseeing stops may seem harmless in the moment. But together, they can turn a dream day into a draining ordeal. And while younger travelers may bounce back quickly, at 60 and beyond, those choices can derail an entire vacation. Mabel Fairchild learned this during her first 5-hour museum tour in Paris. She had planned the day meticulously, tickets booked, tour group lined up, camera charged, but she underestimated the toll of non-stop walking, standing, and navigating crowded galleries. Halfway through, her legs ached, her energy plummeted, and she realized she hadn't eaten since breakfast. Weiss, her water bottle was sitting back at the hotel. What should have been a day of awe and inspiration turned into a blur of fatigue. By the time she returned to her room, she collapsed instead of exploring the evening market she had been dreaming about. Here's the hidden trap. Seniors often plan for logistics, but not for stamina. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires intention. First, hydration. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Dehydration sneaks up faster when traveling, especially in airplanes, hot climates, or even air-conditioned museums. Carry a refillable bottle and sip regularly. Second, medication. Organize doses in portable pill boxes, set alarms on your phone, and keep spares in your day bag, because missing even one dose can throw off your rhythm. Third, snacks. Pack travel-friendly options like nuts, granola, or fruit. They are small, light, and can rescue your energy during long waits or surprise delays. Mabel's adjustment was simple but powerful. She began pacing her itineraries with scheduled rest breaks, bringing snacks and water to every outing, and setting reminders for her medications. Suddenly, her trips became sustainable. Instead of crashing after tours, she still had the energy to enjoy dinner, evening walks, and conversations with locals. Protect your health like it's part of your itinerary. Hydrate before you're thirsty, organize meds with alarms and portable packs, and fuel your body with smart snacks. With these strategies, you won't just survive long days of travel. You'll thrive, experiencing every moment with clarity and joy. Have you ever had a trip cut short because you ran out of energy? Share your experience below. It might help another traveler plan smarter and stay strong on their next adventure. Tip 7. Senior-friendly apps and tools. Here's something most travelers over 60 never hear. Your smartphone can be the single most powerful travel companion you'll ever carry, if you know the right apps to use. Yet, studies show that seniors often download only the basics, missing out on tools that could save money, prevent emergencies, and even open doors to unforgettable experiences. The truth: ignoring these apps is like leaving your passport at home. You might still manage the trip, but you'll miss half the journey. Take Mabel Fairchild, our spirited 67-year-old from Ohio. On her second cruise through Europe, she realized her biggest challenge wasn't the scenery. It was navigating unfamiliar ports, managing medications on the go, and spotting which senior discounts were genuine versus tourist traps. A fellow traveler introduced her to a handful of apps, and it changed everything. Suddenly, she wasn't just surviving the trip, she was in control. Here are a few essentials. Navigation apps designed with offline maps. No more panic when Wi-Fi drops in a small Tuscan village. Medical alert apps that store key health information and send quick alerts if something goes wrong. A literal lifesaver for anyone with conditions like diabetes or heart issues. Translation apps that can scan menus or signs instantly. No more mystery meals or embarrassing language mix-ups. Discount apps that track senior deals, from train tickets in France to museum passes in London. But here's the cliffhanger. The one app Mabel swears by isn't flashy. It's a simple medication reminder tool. While most travelers worry about maps and restaurants, Mabel discovered that forgetting her knee medication for just a few hours left her limping for days. The app's gentle buzz kept her on schedule, even across multiple time zones. For her, that overlooked download was the difference between enjoying cobblestone streets or sitting on the sidelines. Don't underestimate the digital toolkit in your pocket. The right apps can help you navigate, communicate, stay healthy, and even save money, all while giving you peace of mind. Which app do you think no senior traveler should leave home without? Share it in the comments. You might help a fellow adventurer discover their new best travel buddy. Tip 8. Travel companions and social confidence. Here's a surprising fact. Over 40% of seniors who book group tours admit they end up exhausted, not from the walking, but from the people. That's right. Being surrounded by chatter, schedules, and personalities can drain energy faster than a 10-hour flight. And yet, isolation is just as dangerous. Studies show seniors who travel completely alone are twice as likely to feel overwhelmed in emergencies. The real challenge: striking a balance between connection and independence. Mabel Fairchild knows this tension all too well. On her first Mediterranean cruise, she signed up for every group excursion, thinking it would be fun to be surrounded by fellow travelers. By day 3, she was worn thin, waiting for late arrivals, smiling politely at chatty companions, and rushing through meals she wanted to savor. She felt like she had traded freedom for fatigue. But on a later trip to Arizona, Mabel discovered a better way. She joined a local seniors meetup hike but set clear boundaries: one shared activity a day, then solo afternoons to recharge. Suddenly, She had the best of both worlds, community and calm. Here's the hidden trap. Many seniors believe they have to either go all in with groups or avoid them entirely. That's simply not true. The secret lies in knowing your energy limits and communicating them up front. If you join a group tour, don't hesitate to skip an activity that feels too demanding. If you're traveling solo, consider safe social options like senior-friendly meetups, hobby-based walking tours, or even community dinners where you can mingle on your terms. And here's something bold. The happiest senior travelers aren't the ones who see the most. They're the ones who learn to say no. Saying no to a late-night outing, to an overcrowded excursion, or to an activity that feels draining isn't missing out. It's protecting your joy. Build travel companionship around your comfort. Balance group fun with personal downtime. Be honest about your limits, and embrace the freedom to choose. That way, every encounter feels enriching, not exhausting. Have you ever found yourself needing a break from your own travel group? Drop your story in the comments. You'll be surprised how many seniors quietly feel the same way. Tip 9. Cultural immersion without exhaustion. Here's a truth most travel agencies won't tell you. Packing your itinerary with must-sees can actually rob you of the most meaningful memories. Seniors, especially, often feel pressured to see everything. Every museum, every monument, every recommended restaurant. But here's the shocker. Studies show that travelers remember fewer details when they overload their days, because exhaustion dulls memory retention. In other words, the more you try to cram in, the less you'll actually keep. Mabel Fairchild once faced this exact trap in Italy. She had circled nearly every highlight in Tuscany: vineyards, historic villages, cathedrals, art galleries, and tried to squeeze them all into a 3-day stretch. By the second afternoon, her feet were throbbing, her back ached, and her excitement had fizzled into frustration. That night, instead of savoring pasta under the stars, she collapsed in her hotel room, missing the very moment she had come for. But then came a turning point. On the advice of a local guide, she slowed down and committed to just one activity a day. That's how she stumbled onto a slow-paced wine tour through a family-run vineyard. Instead of rushing, she sat under olive trees, sipped Chianti while listening to generations-old stories, and shared laughter with strangers who became friends. That single, unhurried afternoon turned into her favorite memory of the entire trip. Not because she saw the most, but because she felt the most. Here's the hidden wisdom. Cultural immersion isn't about volume, it's about depth. You don't need to tick 10 landmarks off a list to experience authenticity. Sometimes, it's one quiet cooking class, a conversation with a local artisan, or sitting in a cafe watching the rhythm of daily life. Build your itinerary around quality, not quantity. Choose one authentic cultural experience per day, leave space for rest, and embrace the slower pace. That way, you'll return home not just with photos, but with stories, flavors, and emotions that last a lifetime. What about you? Have you ever found a small, simple moment on your travels that outshone the big-ticket attractions? Share it in the comments. It might inspire another senior to rethink their next trip. Tip 10. Mindset Makeover. Confidence at 60+. Here's a bold truth you won't hear from most travel guides. The biggest barrier to senior travel isn't your knees, your back, or your budget. It's your mindset. You can have the lightest suitcase, the best insurance, and the comfiest shoes. But if you step onto a plane feeling nervous, apologetic, or too old, you'll carry invisible baggage heavier than any luggage. The secret ingredient for unforgettable journeys: confidence, curiosity, and humor. Mabel Fairchild discovered this during her long-awaited cruise through the Greek Isles. In the past, she'd fussed over every detail, packing worries, mobility fears, even second-guessing if she fit in among younger travelers. But this time, she chose a different approach. She stopped worrying about being perfect and embraced being present. On a sunny afternoon in Santorini, she struck up a conversation with a local shopkeeper who barely spoke English. Instead of fretting, she laughed through the awkward gestures, tasted pastry she couldn't pronounce, and left with a story more meaningful than any souvenir. Later, she joined fellow passengers at dinner, not as the cautious senior, but as Mabel, the curious nurse-turned-explorer who had wisdom to share. Here's the hidden truth. When seniors travel with confidence, doors open. Locals respond warmly. Group tours feel less intimidating, and even challenges, like a delayed flight or a wrong turn, become part of the adventure instead of a disaster. Humor becomes a tool, not a distraction, and curiosity fuels deeper connections than any guidebook can provide. Don't just prepare your body and suitcase, prepare your mindset. Walk into each trip reminding yourself, I belong here. My age isn't a limitation. It's a passport to richer perspective. With confidence, you'll find yourself laughing with strangers, saying yes to new experiences, and savoring the world with lighter steps. So tell me, which destination is still on your bucket list? Share it in the comments below so we can inspire each other to dream bigger, travel smarter, and embrace the adventure at every age. Here's the part no one tells you. Travel after 60 doesn't have to shrink. It can actually expand, if you approach it with preparation and the right mindset. Too many seniors let fear, fatigue, or past mistakes keep them home, convinced the world is too complicated now. But Mabel Fairchild, our once overwhelmed, cruise missing, luggage struggling, museum fatigued traveler, proved the opposite. At 67, she went from nearly giving up on big adventures to traveling with grace, joy, and confidence. Her transformation didn't come from luck. It came from strategy. She learned that insurance wasn't just paperwork, but protection. That shoes weren't just footwear, but a ticket to freedom. That slowing down didn't mean missing out, but deepening the experience. She embraced apps to stay organized, hydration to stay energized, boundaries to stay balanced, and a mindset makeover that made her laugh more than she worried. In short, she discovered that smart tools, preparation, and mindfulness turn potential chaos into calm. Picture this. Mabel, sitting on the deck of a ship sailing into Santorini, a light breeze brushing her face. She's not worried about her medications. They are organized in her day bag. She's not stressed about scams. She's already compared notes with fellow travelers. She's not dragging her feet. She chose today's shoes for comfort. Instead of stress, she's smiling, chatting with new friends, and planning tomorrow with excitement. That's the gift of traveling wisely after 60. Freedom, not fear. Adventure doesn't end with age. It evolves. With preparation, mindfulness, and smart choices, every journey after 60 can be not only possible, but unforgettable. So if this resonated with you, here's your moment. Tap that like button right now, and share this video with a friend over 60 who deserves to travel smarter. And don't just stop there. Subscribe to Senior Travel Adventures, because adventure never expires. And one more thing, don't forget the new hype button. Every hype pushes these tips higher, making sure more seniors discover the joy and freedom of confident travel. You can hype 3 videos a week. Let's make sure this is one of them.